Aloha, cupcakes. Pinstriping is a unique art form that is comprised almost entirely of the line work and line design that you're capable of pulling with a very small and very particular type of paintbrush. The brush tips themselves are similar to that of the blade of a knife or a sword, so that they can pull these sharp, very crisp lines. And they can be pulled in a number of ways to pull either just the long straight lines or very tight curves, depending on how you handle it. It's very much involved in your wrist control and how well you're able to stabilize your hands while doing so. And yes, it does take an incredibly stable hand in order to do this. It is an art form that I believe a lot of people seem to have either forgotten or they believe simply that it's lost or dead or no longer existent. I was talking to a few people today about this, and it had occurred to me that several of them hadn't even realized that I have been pinstriping for many, many years now. And somehow we as pinstripers just don't advocate for the art form that we obsess over. And to be perfectly honest, the level of obsession that it takes in order for you to get to where you're able to pull stable straight lines, it is an obsession. This is something that we choose to be a part of our lives for an extended period of time. It's not a hobby that we picked up for 6 months and we're just like, okay, I'm done with it. I mean, some people do that, but anybody who's good at it, that's not what we did. My first brush that I started working with as an adult was in 2008. And it's not that that's some sort of astonishing thing. It's that only in the last couple of years have I felt comfortable enough to be able to say that this is something that is the most important part about me. This is something that when I'm at a business meeting and it's a meet and greet session, it's like, well, what do you do for a living? Well, I'm a pinstriper. I think up until maybe 2020, I had always just said that I paint on cars. But this art form, this uniquely detailed and an extremely minimalistic art form that we have decided to obsess over and adopt into our lives as a lifestyle. Because realistically, when we go to do our work, it's in a specific type of environment. Like, you're probably not doing this at a jazz concert, although I have. But typically, that's not where you find us. Car shows, bike rallies, things like that. That's where you find pinstripers. And what's interesting is when you meet one of us, ask us certain questions. We'll pretty much all give you the same answer, but talk to us, like actually converse with us about what we do. I challenge you to ask a pinstriper what their favorite brush is. Ask them about one of the best paints that they've used to do one of their favorite paint jobs. The conversation changes drastically when you do that because this is our love affair. This is something that transcends any aspect of what we perceive as joy and zen and balance and all of those things. Because this moment right here where the tip of the brush touches the skate deck and I pull this little line and curves it and I drag out that tip just a little bit to sharpen it out. That's the most important thing in the world to me. So on that occasion that you should cross paths with one of us, you should see the things that we decide are important to us. The conversation is very different. This isn't your pretentious artist who will tell you about all of the fancy ingredients, the years of technique, the struggles that you had to go through emotionally to get to where you are. Instead, it is right here, right in front of you. I can show you in real time my happy place. There are not many art forms that can do that. Does it mean that we can articulate it well? Well, maybe not. I know I try to. It's definitely been something that I've been working towards getting better with. And just something so simple as these line designs around possibly one of my more complicated monsters. Because let's be realistic, that eyeball over there has more layers of paint in it than I think I've ever put in any graphic I've done before. So to complement that, what do? Well, I put the most simplistic design I possibly could. And then I put a single stripe as an outline around it. Also, check this one out. So right about there, you can't see my face, but that's the point where I know I'm comfortable with this line and that I have accepted this is where we're going. This is good enough. I'm not wiping this off. This is the line. I know you don't really see it, but this was one of the happier moments while I was working on this one. Just that point when I got over the arch on that skate deck, when I knew that I had made it past that curve, that was a moment of success for me. And then it's fun because we get to the second one right here. Zip through it, no stress. Worked out exactly how I wanted it to. I don't know. Maybe this helps give you some insight as to what goes on around here. And if it doesn't, well, stay moist, my friends.